Welcome back. As you can see, we've got a special guest here who we'll get to. Someone's got to go.
How we doing?
That's the name of the episode, featuring Yusuke. Let's dive into it.
So you're back. This is your second appearance on the podcast. I don't remember where you appeared last year, but you're back now. Another year. We were all bottom feeders last year. None of us made the playoffs. Things looking a little bit different this year. But I don't know. I guess glad to have you back. How are you feeling about your team this year? How's everything going?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys again. Always a pleasure. Good to be back on the podcast. Yeah, last year I think I was on at a point when I was pretty down bad. I started off the season 0-4 last year. Then I was like 1-5. My team made a pretty miraculous run at the end of the season, but just fell short of the playoffs. But this year,
it's tough.
This year things are a little different for all of us, I think.
I mean,
Anthony, I know your records, but like,
we can see that
is pretty good. Yeah,
we can see that trend is trending down. But I mean,
listen,
is this a year where it's coming back up? Like, hot start so far. You want to tell us about your team and like how you drafted them and kind of how you got those players?
Yeah. So this year I went with a different strategy. Like usually I really like taking running backs early. I've always been like a pretty running back heavy kind of guy, but this year I went with just trying to take the best player possible. And so I kind of doubled down on wide receivers. And so that kind of led some people to question my decisions. And there was some chirping going on that, maybe I had the worst team at the draft. I heard that from a few people. I'm not going to name them because I'm going to be the bigger person here.
Hey, before you continue, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think all three of us were bottom 3 rankings, and we all were getting people roasting us. Everyone was crapping our 3 teams. Not saying anything special, but keep going. Sorry.
People are honest. People are honest.
And right now, top 5. Not saying anything.
It's a little bit different this year.
The energy shifted. The energy shifted. But yeah, so I took Cooper Kupp first round because he slipped all the way to 9th because that was my pick. But unfortunately, he's been hurt. So Cooper Kupp's hurt. Second round, I took Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I thought was a little bit of a reach, but I really wanted him. So, I went with my gut, and he's been pretty good so far. My third round pick was Mark Andrews, who also missed week 1. So I played Matt Levin first week with Cooper Kupp and Mark Andrews out. Still beat him. Oof. Let that be known. I took
T. Higgins fourth.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yeah. We have plenty of time to get on Matt later. And then took Mark Andrews 4th round. Oh, no. So took T. Higgins 4th round. He's been pretty inconsistent, but I think he'll turn it around. And so went with a pretty wide receiver heavy strategy this year overall. But I have 2 capable starting running backs in James Cook and Kenneth Walker. They've both been really rock solid. And then Tua Tagovailoa
MVP right now
has been awesome. Yeah. And then I picked up Puka Nacua in free agency off waivers. So I don't really miss Cooper Kupp right now because Puka Nacua
not having Kupp matters because you got his replacement in their offense, so it's fine.
Exactly
the next best thing.
Yeah. So my team. I think my bench is solid too. Breece Hall kind of waiting for him to wake up, but I got Christian Kirk and Jordan Addison, 2 both very talented wide receivers on my bench as well. So I think I got the depth, and I think I can go pretty far. My first year league, finished 3rd. Last year, finished like 8th or something. Not as good, but this year, hoping to turn the tides around.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah, I guess stories of the week. So a few big things in the league. I guess first and foremost, the Dolphins just absolutely obliterated the Broncos. Sean Payton
retire right now again.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It's kind of
sorry,
crazy.
Man.
I'm kind of upset at Mike McDaniels for not kicking a field goal at the end to just break the points record. They should have gone for 73, but, respectful, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But A-Chain and Mostert went crazy. I think Hill got a touchdown. Waddle wasn't even playing. So, nuts game from the Dolphins. That was crazy to see.
Insane.
It's almost more disrespectful to not kick that field goal. You know, it's
I know.
mercy.
It's like we don't have to do this to you guys.
We had you. But
We could, but we're not.
we'll let you go. You have enough problems of your own. Anyways, we can
Broncos
get into,
country.
honestly, another very kind of surprising game. The Cardinals took down the Cowboys, and they were ahead pretty much the whole game. It was shocking because I think they had one of the biggest spreads of the week, and everyone expected the Cowboys to just go in there, take care of business. Nobody expected this. I mean, I honestly have no words. I don't really know how. I can't explain how the Cardinals are good. Dobbs he's playing like Lamar Jackson right now, in my opinion. I don't know. The play calling, I think their coach is actually decent. I mean, I saw that video of him. I don't know if you guys saw that video of him. It looked bad, like the way he tried to motivate his players. That was awful. But he did something. He just beat the best team, one of the best teams in the league.
And then final story, I guess another surprising result, another big upset. Well, I don't know, not really an upset based off how they've played this year because the Jags have been weird, but CJ Stroud picked up his first win of the year. I feel like he's been the best
Of
rookie
his career
QB so far.
Looks great.
Bryce Young's been hurt. I mean, hurt this past
Richardson.
But in terms of like a pass, I think Richardson's a lot of his stuff. Richardson's been further along than people expected. But in terms of just pure quarterback play, Stroud's looked every bit of, what everyone expected him to be and picked up his first win this week. Tank Dell went off. He's had a crazy week. I feel like there was someone else in their offense who did really well. Forgetting who. But just great week for Houston. They pick up their first win of the season. In Jacksonville, I feel like everyone's been expecting them to take the jump, like, okay, this is their year. And they haven't done it. So Trevor Lawrence, clearly really talented, but curious to see how that continues to play out in Jacksonville.
Especially with Ridley there. You'd think they'd be playing better. They really didn't get him involved much on Sunday. And, I mean, they kind of just couldn't finish in the red zone. That kind of hurt them at the end of the day.
I still think they'll turn it around. And honestly, Trevor Lawrence is a pretty good buy low candidate right now, I think.
Oh, yeah. I still think the Jags are winning that division. I think they have some things they have to figure out, but they're still
early in the
talent-wise, they're the best on paper.
Yeah.
So there's no excuses.
And then for us, unfortunate final update: the Commanders got absolutely brutalized by the Bills. Sam Howell is not him in any way.
No, he's not.
That was just terrible. That was awful.
We might as well have 0.
Yeah, it was like the points we scored were worthless. I think we didn't score anything. It was like 24-0 at the half or something like that. Buffalo scored 21 points in the fourth quarter alone. Like, they continued to pile on. They didn't have to add on to that, but they did.
Just
and it was just it's very frustrating. But it's okay. We'll take this L. We're clearly not the Bills. We're not winning anything this year. And honestly, not surprised if Sam Howell ends up getting drafted out next year. That's what ends up happening.
Rough game overall. I don't even have anything to say about it.
As an Eagles fan, it made me pretty happy to see. Sorry, guys.
We were 2-0. We had no right being 2-0, and I'm honestly glad we didn't this. My hopes were up for no reason, and kind of glad we got humbled here. We beat a crappy Broncos team 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, whatever you want to say.
Barely beat the Cardinals.
At least we're not worse than the Broncos and Cardinals, though. At least that's something. We're not them.
Cardinals might be real.
You think Josh Dobbs is Lamar?
Bro, keep him over Kyler. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is it more Cardinals are kind of good, or is it like Dallas is kind of fraudulent, like somewhat
Dallas
fraudulent?
Is always fraudulent to a degree.
Fraudulent. But I think the Cardinals are sneaky good. Anyways, we got off topic.
We'll get into our fantasy results. I guess the first one, Yusuke, we'll let you take it away. You had a good result this
Dive into your
weekend.
matchup.
Big dub for you.
Big dub. Moved to 3-0. So great feeling. You know, was going up against Adwin. You know, his team's pretty good. It's all right. It's all right. You know, I'll give it some respect. Bijan Robinson's been nasty. He has Josh Allen. Yeah. So, you know, pretty solid team, but man, Kenneth Walker and Tua really just they did it for me. And James Cook and Allen Ross staying consistent, and then my defense on my kicker.
I know, 29 out
The
of
Browns defense. I mean, that's
Wow.
huge. So I think made all the right calls.
This is back-to-back weeks for you where you've had is it 130? You had 140, 130 last week, and you did it again.
137 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking to get that kind of, I can't expect to get that kind of production every week, but I'm at least hoping my team's going to be really consistent over the course of the year. And I think it can be. I think most of these guys are really involved in their offense. Out of my starters, looking right now, I think everyone's really solid. T. Higgins is the guy who's been showing the most, but I have no doubt that the Bengals are going to get better. Joe Burrow's going to heal up, and I think their offense will be back to normal. And Higgins has been consistent, for several years now. So that's I'm not super worried.
He'll definitely bounce back. That Bengals offense.
And one more week before Cooper Kupp gets back. So
scary time.
So I'm curious how that's going to work. I mean, how much do you think Puka's stock is going to be impacted? Do you think you could start Kupp and Puka together?
I mean, obviously
they haven't come back yet. You got to see how the offense settles out, but that would be interesting to see. Does Puka remain a flex option, or is he just is he not worthy of it at that point?
Yeah. It's an interesting question because talent-wise, he deserves to get, still get a lot of reps, but him and Kupp's fill the same role basically, right? Mm-hmm. The slot guy who does a lot of curl routes, they're both got good hands.
Stafford's bailout guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so I still think Kupp's going to be the main guy. I think Puka will have a role, but Tutu Atwell's the deep threat guy, the speed guy. So I honestly think maybe it'll be Kupp and Atwell kind of, and then I don't know how they'll figure out how to use Puka. But honestly, Sean McVay's an offensive genius.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think anyone's doubting that. Yeah, I think he'll figure out. And a talent like Puka Nacua, from what we've seen, and honestly, I didn't expect this. I don't think anyone did, but didn't really see this coming. But I think you got to figure out a way to keep him involved. So we'll see. Maybe it's lining up one of them more on the outside, or using one as the decoy. I just hope it doesn't eat into each other's production. That would be the worst for my fantasy team.
Yeah, that would be bad.
But yeah, big win. Really happy about my team right now.
Fortunately for me, I did not have as good of a result as you did. Back-to-back weeks, I've taken L's against teams that have just done really well. Put up 123 this week. I felt really good about my team. I could have started Alex Madison. I guess I could have started someone over Nico Collins. It's I could have made better starts. But even if I did, Cohen's still beating me by 10, 15. So it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. It's Jerome Ford, no yards, but gets a receiving and a rushing touchdown. That was brutal.
Crazy.
Debo got 2 TDs. Keenan Allen threw for a touchdown on top of everything else he did. It was just
a crazy game. 18 catches? Right?
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. I was watching the stats for that game. I was they're only throwing him the ball. At the end of the first quarter, he almost had or had surpassed 100 yards. It was something nuts. I was yo, how's this working? So, I got to take my L here. There are good things about my team, though. Sam Laporta, I'm so happy with that pick. That was I feel one of the steals of the draft, easy. He had a great performance, and I think he's going to keep on doing well in that offense. ETN picked up his performance. Justin Jefferson kept on doing what he was doing. Jerry Jeudy had a rebound performance. I feel And Madison, especially with Cam Akers being traded in, I was a little bit. This week was bigger for him. If Madison had another dud week, Akers would have definitely ended up having, I think, more chances than otherwise. But because Madison did well, not only in fantasy, but actually picking up some big yards, helping move the offense, I feel like he's gonna, at least for the time being, share a majority or take a majority of the touches in that backfield. Maybe depending on like the game script or the situation, Akers takes more. But as long as Madison can kind of keep this up, I feel like he has flex value for me. So see.
Yeah.
And
Matt's
yeah, so go ahead.
Sorry, no. I was just gonna say Matt's team looks good. Looks good.
Matt's team is scary right now.
I know.
Yeah. We could go on to my matchup now. It looks kind of like a blowout, and I mean, it definitely was a blowout. Don't get me wrong, and we will crap on Matt later. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of scary going into Monday night with the 2 Monday night games. I had 4 players, he had 2, but he had Godwin and Devonta Smith, 2 players that kind of could have decent games, could break out a bit. I had Mike Evans, AJ Brown, Joe Mixon, and Goddard. It was like very close to a tie game. Eventually, my guys ended up pulling it out. I had trust. I had faith in them the whole time. Little worried though. Little worried. Shouldn't have been that close in the first place. Cowboys D kind of let me down big time there. But I mean, everyone else kind of did what I kind of expected of them. I feel like my team is pretty solid starter wise. I feel like my bench is getting there too. I feel like it's finally starting to at least get a couple pieces that I can maybe trade for more value, but I don't know. I played a crappy Matt team, doesn't really matter. I got the dub. 3-0, baby. Let's go.
Taysom Hill. Is he going to be your key player?
Probably not. No. Don't worry. Don't worry. All right.
Obviously, you alluded to it, but it's time. We talked about him at the end of last episode, but we really got to address Matt a bit more directly now because, I mean, not only is he 0-3, he's sending out these crazy trade offers. He's talking crazy in the group chat. He thinks he's the commissioner. I don't understand.
He's down bad. He is down bad. I mean, this man's first of all, this man hasn't beat me in like 5 years. He was talking crap before our series. I mean, like, come on, man. You're 0-2. I'm 2-0 too. Like, I don't know. And then, I mean, now I've talked to him since, and he's really like upset about his team. He feels done with fantasy this year. I mean, but it doesn't feel like he's done with him sending all these last-minute desperation trades to us. I mean,
he was trying to force Daniel Carlson onto someone earlier today. He was very adamant about kicker swapping for some reason, which...
A kicker swap? He was pressed for my defense. Yeah. How is a kicker in a defense going to make the difference?
Also, the number one scoring kicker right now, this 49ers guy, is on our waivers. No one has him. That could very easily drop and pick up the number one kicker in the league right now. And he has not done it, and he's not going to do it. Instead, he's trying to trade for people who... I don't understand it.
That's ridiculous. Come on.
I mean, you see this trade he offered me? Honestly, I feel like I should have accepted. That was like, I considered accepting it, like, just to take Godwin and Pickens just for Waddle. Like,
trade.
That would have been fine, but I just didn't. This is just too stupid of a trade. I'm not really interested in. One, I feel like my depth is fine. I would have had to cut someone who I like. And there's just no reason to do this. I don't need to give up. I'm not doing kicker trades. Like, I'm not doing kicker trades. I told him, I was like, I'm not trading you my kicker. I was like, that's not happening. We're not doing a kicker trade. It is what it is.
He's pressed. Yeah. Yusuke, you want to talk about your trade offer?
Yeah. On my end, I got a text from Matt today saying, what do you think about this trade offer? So there's a screenshot on the right there, but, he wanted Kenneth Walker, Andrews, and my kicker. He really wanted to do
What is this obsession? What?
But, I texted him back saying, I really don't understand what the point of this trade is. and I see no reason to accept it. I mean, I don't like Andrews is better than Waller. My kicker is better than his kicker, and Derrick Henry, like historically, yeah, I accept this trade in a heartbeat. But this year, like he's only playing like half the snaps. He doesn't look the same. Titans suck.
He literally wants you to downgrade at every position.
Kenneth Walker's the number 3 running back.
Too. The analytics show it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he wants you to
except for a kicker. Technically, he'd be getting better at kicker. But come on, what is his obsession with this kicker thing? Could somebody explain it? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like, what's the difference?
Carlson's been like the lowest scoring kicker in the league this year, so that's the only.
Why did he drop this? Why did he drop it?
I don't understand why he hasn't dropped him. He could very easily just drop his kicker. And like that's the easiest position to stream. I don't know why he's forcing himself.
This guy before this week. Moody was a free agent before this week. Yeah. There's like 5 top 10 kickers that are free agents.
Yeah, I would say they're always top 10 kickers in free agency. You never have to worry about a kicker. We're in the 10-team league. You can always get a top 10 kicker. You literally, there should never be an issue.
Sound bad. If you are pressed for a kicker, 0-3, I have no words anymore, man. All right.
It's the same with defense too. Like he was fiending for the Cowboys defense, right, Jacob?
He was like really pressed. He was like offering me Pickens. He was offering me like mediocre bench pieces. I'm like, come on, man. Like I just want to keep my defense. Like they're doing well. Like can we chill? Like
if your defense sucks, just play the matchup. Just stream defense.
Exactly.
That's what I do most of the time.
He's trying to trade streaming positions. Like I'm not gonna unless it's for a higher level person. I'm not trading for kickers or defenses or like low or like tight ends below 10. Like Waller hasn't even done that well this year. You could stream the same level of play that Waller has given you this season.
Yeah, easily.
I don't get it, man.
It's tough out here, man. It's tough out here. 0-3. I think he's second to last in the standings, but we'll get to that.
This will be a recurring. This will be a recurring thing, though. We'll bring Matt. I guess we're inviting you on next week, Matt. So you have to answer to this at some point. You know, you have to give your rebuttal on air. But we'll do this recurring. We'll find other people down bad. It might be me after there are plenty of opportunities. The season is long. We have like 12 regular season weeks left or something. Plenty of time. So lots of us will be down bad, but Matt is the first and most glaring one right now. So I'll just put him on blast for a little bit.
Hope you enjoy, Matt.
Keep your head up, Matt. Your team probably won't make the playoffs, but just keep doing your best.
Scores around the rest of the league. We went over our 3 results. Obviously, Yusuke and Jacob getting wins. I took an L. We also see Ian beating Alex. So, both of them at 1 and 2
First
now.
win.
One losing record teams. And then Joel picking up wins against Sammy. So another 0-3 team as well now. So,
wow.
Yeah, interesting results. And yeah, there we go. Playoff percentages and all. I guess, how are you guys feeling? Number 2 and 3 now. How are you guys feeling? What's the energy like right now?
Feeling confident, man. I mean, 86% 3 weeks into the season? That feels kind of high, but I'll take it. And also, 96 seems ridiculous for this point in the season, especially considering who this person is and the history in this league he has had with his players. I mean, obviously, it doesn't keep that.
There's no historical context for the percentages?
No, but if it was AI and calculated all that, I think I'm not trying to disrespect Matt's team in any way. I would put it down to like 85, 80. And I don't think I should be at 86, so I'm not saying I should be lower. Just saying, but no disrespect.
Though, I mean, all of y'all are, 85 plus, so this is ESPN saying y'all are locked into the playoffs basically at this point.
I mean, the
I'll take
craziest
it.
part to me is there's 6 teams below 500 right now. That's crazy. Like the gap. I mean, it helps me and Yusuke because we're playing each other this weekend. Even if we lose, we're still sitting kind of pretty. I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, after this week, Matt's gonna be 0-4. You know, it's still gonna
Oh,
be
Matt's
even
bottom.
if I lose.
Matt is bottom. I didn't even see that. I thought
Yeah.
Sammy was bottom for some reason, but Matt, wow. I
Wait,
would love
Matt
to see.
somehow isn't the
Love
lowest
to see
scoring
that
team
in
though.
that way.
Alex is the lowest scoring team.
But he
His
picked
team
up a
is
win.
somehow worse than
How
Matt.
does Alex have a worse team than?
I mean,
How did he
maybe
manage
that's
it?
why we'll need to have them on together. I mean,
Yeah.
Alex has been saying he
The
wants
bottom
that.
feeders.
Yeah, the new league bottom feeders. Not us anymore, boys. We're out.
We made it out. We made it out.
Knock on wood, but we made it out for now. For now.
There we go.
For all we know, like we're gonna get an ACL injury week 4. Like, come on, dude. There's been serious injuries every week, so I'm kind of getting worried, especially with McCaffrey on my team.
I know that's like an iffy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, going into matchups, I guess y'all are.
We talked
You just
about
mentioned it, but 3-0 versus 3-0. How are you guys feeling? What's the
Big
feeling for this
matchup.
week?
You wanna go first?
I mean, Yusuke, you go first. You go ahead first. Go first.
I'm a little nervous. I can't lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I am too, man. I kind of wanted to keep the win streak going, and this is not the. I didn't want to play a 3-0 team right now. This is
Game respect game, right?
game respect game. May the best man win.
May the best man win. But yeah, Jacob's got to look at that lineup. Look at Christian McCaffrey. I mean, that's terrifying to me. And Justin Herbert, I have him in another league. You know, he's been balling. Mixon's consistent. A.J. Brown picked it up last week. I expect him to keep it up against, Washington.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Evans, he's got to come down at some point, right? Like, he's still really good, and he's going to reach 1,000 yards for, the 50th straight year. But he's got to, cool out.
He should, but, I mean, right now he's one of the top in the league. You never know.
Why are you starting Cortland Sutton?
I was doing that matchup-wise because they play Chicago.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He honestly Cortland Sutton proved he's becoming Wilson's favorite target, and they have a clearly awful offense, and they're going to be throwing it because they're going to be down in the game.
Right.
I mean, even to Chicago, they will probably be down somehow. I don't know. It was between him and I'm blanking on it, but DJ Moore. So it's receivers in both that matchup. So I mean,
the poverty bowl.
It's really. I might flip that last minute. It's really up in the air right now. Maybe even a waiver if I get a certain guy that I want. You never know. Cowboys defense against New England, solid. Cameron Dicker, obviously love him. I mean, let me talk about your team now. You talked about my team. I'll pay my respect now. I'm nervous too, especially seeing all these check marks now, man. I didn't see that before, but I do see the projected, and that makes me feel a little bit better. But I mean, Tua, I can't lie, he's MVP right now. Going up against Buffalo though, that makes me feel a little better. I mean, Buffalo has been like on and off defensively this year, but I mean, divisional battles, I feel like they'll be able to pick it up a little bit, especially because they need this win before falling to 2-2.
And they're not playing in Miami. They're playing in Buffalo.
But it's not too early in the winter, or it's not too late in the winter. They should be fine there. But Kenneth Walker, I mean, he's been solid against the Giants.
Giants are poverty.
Decent, but yeah, James Cook too against Miami. God, you got a lot in that matchup too. He's been solid this year. St. Brown, I'm scared of him too, especially against Green Bay. I really hope Jair Alexander plays. That would be huge for me, even if he is on like half the time. I mean, T. Higgins. I'm kind of honestly like there's some question marks in your team, but I mean overall your team is very solid. Like I would definitely I know you have a solid bench too. Like I feel like you have some tough decisions to make too every week. Do you?
Yeah, last week or 2 weeks ago, I wanted to start Jordan Addison over Puka Nakua. I really thought about it, and Addison did well, but
He
Puka,
scored,
that was
right?
the game. Yeah, he had like 15 points, but like that was the week Puka went off like 26 or something some ridiculous, had like 15 receptions. So I made the right call, but yeah, I mean, I have five. I legit think I have 5 wide receivers, outside of Cup that I think I could start every week and be pretty happy with.
That's insane right now.
Yeah. So if you're listening in the league, I'm looking for a running back. I got wide receivers that are startable.
I feel like it's a very wide receiver heavy year. Like, it's weird to say. I feel like I guess it's just very thin
Yeah.
at running back right now, maybe. Or is it just
Yeah.
a lot more passing in the league? I don't really know what it is, but it just feels like receivers are kind of there's more receivers out there. I don't know. But yeah, I think this will be a great matchup. I mean, I couldn't really predict who's gonna win this. It's probably gonna come down to Monday night. It's only one game on Monday, I think.
Thank God, finally. I don't want to keep.
I know it's kind of hard.
I was
watching those
confused by the
at
2
once.
games, and the way they stagger it is weird. It's not.
Yeah.
Consistent
Give it more
actually
time.
watching.
15.
Yeah, no,
I have to
not
dual
great.
screen it on my YouTube TV, and I'm like, this is stupid.
You can't hear
At
one of
least-
them. Like,
It's like
I
I
hope
give
Roger
it either
Goodell is
4
listening
screens
right now.
or just one.
Yeah, no, literally. 2 is not enough for it. But I mean, it is nice having football on a Monday. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
Never can complain. All right,
Well,
so
best luck to you.
good luck, man. May the best man win. 4-0 sounds so nice. I mean,
Oh, dude.
we'll see. We'll text about it. There'll be beef, I'm sure.
There'll be beef.
All right, let's get to Anthony's matchup.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back up to 500 against Adwin. We're both
Okay.
1-2 teams.
Oh,
I'm feeling good. I'm projected for 8 more points than Adwin right now. I feel pretty solid. I mean, my team has consistently produced, around 100 points, a little bit over that. So I'm not concerned with the production. I do think there is a balance I need to find between like the Kieran Williams, Miles Sanders, Alex Madison. Like I need to just based off of matchups, make sure I get that rotation right. Last week I kind of missed with Nico Collins, so I'm hoping Waddle is active and he can play. If Waddle's good, then that solves a lot of my issues. I feel good starting Miles Sanders. I think he's getting enough volume in that offense to be worth it. So it's really just between Madison and Williams at that point. If that's the decision I'm making, I feel pretty good. Adwin has a solid team, though. I can't, like, Josh Allen, very good, obviously. Bijan and Ramondre Stevenson is a solid running back group. Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, you can't, like, be mad about either one of those either. Evan Ingram has been one of the best tight ends in the league this year. Roshan Johnson, not really too, it's like a hit or miss one. I'm not really too bothered about him. Maybe he does really well.
Yeah.
He's rookie out of Texas. He's, he's talented, but I don't know if he's going to put up that many points against Denver. We'll see. 49ers defense, though, is something that could definitely end up kicking me in the butt, especially against Arizona. Jacob, I know you were saying he's Lamar Jackson, Josh Dobbs, but
it's kind of scary, man. I'd be a little concerned playing them. I don't trust that Cardinals offense. I mean, in a scary way. I think they're scary.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. That could end up being a difficult matchup for me. But other than that, I feel good about my team. I think this is going to be a good week for me, and I feel like 2-2 is what I'm feeling by the time we get to next Tuesday. So we'll hope that ends up happening.
One thing about this matchup too is it is 5v6 in the standings. I mean, you two are kind of. I mean, I know it's very early in the season, but points wise, you two are getting to the gap where it starts to like separate, so like it'll kind of be interesting to see.
So many 1-2 teams at this point in the season, though. I feel like if we were 3-0,
it's a big game though. 1-3 is you don't want to start 1-3.
I think it means more to be 1-3 than it does to be 2-2. Like if I'm 2-2, I could still like lose a few games and it not matter. If I'm 1-3 though, that's a lot bigger of a deficit to come back from. So. We'll see. Hopefully, I can pick up the win, avoid that issue next week. I won't have to think about it because I'll be 2-2, so it'll be fun. All right, and then over under post-mortem. We started this last week. We're gonna quickly go over what we did, how we did in our last guesses, and then come up with some new ones for this week. We agreed on the first three, and we got all the first three right. So I feel like there was nothing wrong with that. We were on the same page about everything. Only one that we didn't both get right was the one we split with Pollard. I went over, and I was iffy about the over still. I wanted to go under, really. But we split it. I went over, you went under, you got the under.
It's the exact same team we just talked about, the Cardinals. They're a scary team. I don't know what to think of them. I mean, again, that coach, he's fueling them with something sus. I don't know what's in that water in Arizona.
It's the former Eagles defensive coordinator who's the head coach. He's definitely cooking something up.
He is. All right, so let's get in the over-unders for this week. So we picked players from both our matchups. Mine's obviously against Yusuke. I picked Christian McCaffrey for mine. For his matchup against Arizona, again, scary defense, just talked about them. Over-under 19.4, that's kind of I don't know. I mean, he scored 20 a game, at least. I'm going to trust my guy. He's been one of my favorite players, best players this year. I'm going over. What do you guys think?
I mean, against Arizona, you were hyping up that Arizona defense. I feel like this is I think McCaffrey over is the safe bet. I'll rock with the over here, but honestly, no, I'll switch that. I'll go with the under just because I think this might be a game that San Francisco, like I could see them getting out ahead early and McCaffrey maybe not getting the same touches in, the like late in the third, fourth quarter. I could see, maybe he ends up finishing with like 15 or something like that. Maybe he gets a touchdown, but I don't see him I think that San Francisco is like more of a legit team than Dallas. I think they handle that game a lot more solidly from the start.
Man, I really want to take the under, but I just have a bad feeling. I think I got to go with the over here. I just don't really believe in the Cardinals. I know they beat Dallas. I know Josh Dobbs is looking like Lamar. I get all that, to channel Stephen A.
Yeah.
But I cannot go with he's averaging 20. He's a beast. Like I can see him easily going for like 29 points.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of McCaffrey.
Love to hear that as a fantasy manager. All right, let's get into Puka Nacua. I chose him from your team. I don't know if you're gonna start him or not, but he's been interesting this season. I thought he'd be an interesting player to do the over/under with. His line is 11.7 against Indianapolis. What do you guys think? I'll go last on this one.
I feel like, I think I don't know. I can't doubt Puka anymore. I feel like I kind of doubted him the first episode when Yusuke picked him up and then he did me dirty. And, I can't – I have to put faith in this man just based off of that. So I'm going to go with the over. I feel like he'll end up finding the end zone again. It's clear he's getting the targets in this offense. I see no reason for him to not get the over, especially if this ends up being a competitive game throughout.
I agree. I'm going to take the over here too. I just, I think the Rams looking to bounce back after that kind of ugly loss. I think McVay will get to Puka early and often.
Yeah.
I think definitely over. I think you can see like 15 targets.
I feel the same as, Yusuke in this decision, especially with like having to choose with McCaffrey going over, but it's hard not to say over here. I mean, he didn't get too many targets the last game. I think he was kind of underutilized, but he is clearly the best receiver, one of the best playmakers on that offense right now without Kupp. And they're gonna get him the ball against Indianapolis in a game they need to win. I don't see him not going over 11.7. He'll definitely go over 100%.
So yeah, I'm starting him.
Great. Great confidence
If
booster for me
you
right
needed
now.
any more, you needed any more reason to start him. Now you've got.
I just set your lineup. Great.
Thanks for the confirmation, boys. This is what I came here to do.
Great.
And then
All right, you're up, Anthony. Your matchup.
First one, Sam Laporta, going up against Green Bay. 8.5 points. They really boosted him after his game last week. They're giving him some respect in the projections. And I'm going to go with over here. I think you mentioned him earlier, Jair Alexander. If he ends up playing, he's going to end up being Amon-Ra St. Brown, you'd assume, or shadowing him for a good amount of the game. And Laporta he's been the number 2 weapon in the offense so far this season. He's gotten the second most targets, reception, and yards, I'm pretty sure, behind Amon-Ra so far. And especially if Jair ends up shutting down Amon-Ra, just being on him a bit more, Laporta is going to, I feel like, pick up at least, 5 or 6 receptions. So in half PPR, that's an easy 3 points already. And, he's going to get the yards in this offense. I think this offense moves well enough. It's going to be a competitive game. I see him either finding the end zone again or just getting enough receptions to end up getting over the 8.5 points. So I think I'm going with the over there for Laporta. What do you guys think?
Again, hard not to disagree with you too. I mean, he's dominated. He's clearly looked like a reliable option for Jared Goff there in Detroit. Especially with exactly what Anthony said, with Jair going to be covering Amon-Ra. I expect Sam Laporta to be the main target this game, and in a Thursday night game where they're going to be, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think he'll get targets. I expect the over to hit for Sam Laporta.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, in my other league, my draft was while I was like hiking in the mountains, so couldn't draft my team. And so I had Anthony draft my team for me. And I know how much he loves Laporta because he drafted him on my team as well. And I started him last week. He went off, so thank you for that. The team's doing well, by the way. I'm 2-1. And
there we go.
The one game I lost by 0.3 because I played the Giants defense against the Cardinals, and they got -2 points.
So that's on you. That's on you.
I bet against the Cardinals. I bet against the second coming of Michael Vick, apparently.
The team is scary.
But I think I'm gonna go with the under here.
Okay.
I think this is gonna be a competitive game, but I think Green Bay's defense is like sneaky good. And I don't know. I think he hasn't proven enough to me. He went off last week, and I think he's super talented, and long term he's going to be like a top 10 fantasy tight end every year. This week, though, I think he's like, it's still wildly inconsistent, and that's the same with every tight end. So if he finds the end zone, I'm going to eat my words, but I'm betting the under because I don't think he'll find the end zone this week.
Good take. All right, last but not least, we got Bijan Robinson over under 15.5 against Jacksonville. That's the London game, the Toy Story game. I don't know if you guys are gonna watch it that way, but I might at least see what it looks like.
Is that like Nickelodeon game?
Yeah.
Like that
I
they
think
had
it's
with
Disney Plus, something like that.
It's like the same. It's like the same type joint as that, though.
Same concept.
Yeah, same thing as that, though. Yeah, you're right.
Are they gonna slime everyone?
We'll see. But with Bijan, he's been solid all year. Jacksonville's defense has been inconsistent. They just let up a lot of points to a Texans team it's been up and down. Not that great of an offense, though. I expect Bijan to go over here.
Yeah, so I feel like Bijan, I'm in between here just because, their whole offense is pretty much Bijan and Tyler Algier. Like that's all they're doing. So am I, and I don't know off the top of my head how many receptions Bijan's getting a game, but it's like, do I feel like Bijan just off of volume is going to be able to do that against Jacksonville? His first game in London, and I do think Jacksonville kind of has to have a response, especially after last week. I think that whole team is going to end up doing better.
That's a good point.
I could see them getting ahead early or, just being in a position where Atlanta being in a position where they're going to have to rely on Desmond Ridder a bit more. So I'm going to go with the under here. I think it could be close. Wouldn't be surprised if Bijan hits the over and ends up, just going for a ton of receptions and, gets some yards that way. But I think the rushing game is going to be a little bit slowed down for them. This game is my guess.
I like that take. Yusuke?
Before I say anything, I just want to say, free Kyle Pitts. Like you guys mentioned, Algier and Bijan, and like a little bit of Drake London are the only points of offense they have. And they forget that they have talent-wise, probably the most talented tight end in football. Kelsey, outside of Kelsey. Yeah, free my boy. I don't know. What are they doing with him? With Bijan, I'll take the over, I think. And I it's just volume, and he's so efficient with it too.
Yeah.
I never watch Falcons games, right? They're not a fun. They're traditionally not a super fun team to watch, except that 1 year, but when Matt Ryan was insane.
Julio.
Yeah. But I kind of enjoy watching Falcons games now, and it's mostly just because of Bijan. He's insane on tape, just juking dudes out left and right.
He's good.
He's as dynamic of a pass catcher as he is a runner. And so I think he's gonna have an efficient game. He's gonna get at least 5 or 6 catches, and I think he'll rush close to at least 80 yards. So I'm gonna take the over. I think he kind of had a down week last week, so I think he's due for a bounce back.
Yeah. So thanks for your takes. Obviously, guys, drop your takes if you're watching. We want to see what you guys think, over under. And Yusuke, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
This was great.
It was a blast.
First guest of the season, honorable mention. We applaud you for coming on. And
thank you.
Again,
this will be a good battle this week.
We have to reiterate to Matt. Come on, man. This is we got to have you on at some point. Don't be down bad again next week. You gotta come back. You gotta let us know what it is. Come on, get on.
Matt, it's now or never.
Thanks for watching.
And don't offer me any stupid trades again.
Yeah, no more stupid trades.
Yeah, please stop with that.
Stop
with that. Especially for kickers, defense.
Yeah, no kicker trades.